Very important. Nobody wants to fight with funky breath. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to My Hero Academia. We are now on the episode that is called Let You Down. So last episode, we got the backstory of kind of what inspires everybody. We learned, of course, in the previous episode about what was going on with Mr. Navel Laser, Ayama, and the fact that he was working for All For One, but not because he wanted to. And the last episode was really just the Class 1A trying to appeal to Oyama to step up and basically help them get the advantage on All For One by not letting him know that they're onto them, like see if there's any way he could possibly get information that can help give them an advantage in this fight. And we saw that even their teacher got a chance to sit down with him and basically say like, look, I haven't given up on you, the class hasn't. It really comes down to you facing the fear that you have about what he could possibly do to you and your family and doing the right thing anyways. So definitely more of an emotional episode. And we also see that Midoriya and, oh gosh, why do I keep forgetting the guy with the jet legs? Anyway, they both got some gear and found out that the gear people have been working tirelessly to figure out a way to protect the school and do, you know, evasive measures should there be an attack on the school. And yeah, basically that they've been doing their own thing and haven't just been sitting back because they're not necessarily in the field fighting. So yeah, it was basically just an inspirational episode. We had a lot of inspirational stuff. Everyone's kicking into high gear. The clock is ticking. We only have a week to figure something out before inevitably Shigaraki and All For One are going to become one. That's where we're at. And now this episode Let You Down. I have no idea what kind of title what that means with a title like that. So I'm ready to jump in. So let's do that right now. But just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to be notified of when I do uploads of this show or anything else that I'm reacting to, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Be part of the know, be part of the journey to 20K. I appreciate it very, very much. That out of the way, let's get into the episode right out. Oh, is this her family, her history? I mean, obviously, if this is her history, that sucks, but it doesn't change the fact that she's kind of evil. I will always be this person. I understand people's villain origin stories, but I don't agree with it. Looks like your dad was trying to help you. Does her scarf look like teeth to anyone else? Who's gonna tell there's no red sparrows? Alright, respectfully, she was always crazy. Some of us are just too crazy to be here. She's one of them. She doesn't.
明日は平等にやってくる。それなら笑おうぜ。人は笑うために生きている。
He just did that because he's mad that he can't do it to his own house.
使えるんだよ。変身。その個性をも使えるようになったてめえの血と、マキアにさらわれる前にサッドマンズパレード。
That sounds fun.
俺たちだ。
Tell yourself that. I mean, if you do get the last laugh, it's because you're insane, Toya. Insane. Yeah, I can't get behind the whole villain origin story. Again, like I said, I get why they are doing it. And Toya, I definitely understand why he's doing this to his dad. But yeah, the innocents that did nothing to deserve this is why both of them need to go down. He's fine. Shigaraki. He asked for it. He's fine. He can deal. Oh, well, his hair grew back. He's got that bust down.
Shigaraki,
Is it?
照らそうとも光の及ばなかった闇。ヒーローと呼ばれる者どもに怨恨を抱く偉業は少なくない。
Society sucks.
みこしが軽すぎるよ。そんな仰々しい大義はないんだ。
Just angry.
脱獄はともかく、ボートたちは貴様を待っている。
Oh.
貴様が引き金を引くのだ。
Trigger? Trigger for what?
思うが、もはや流れは止められない。
See, that's the kind of attitude that'll get you in trouble.
食わしてやる。
Can someone just decapitate him already?
誰もが誰かのヒーローになれるんだ。
As they say, every villain thinks that they're the hero of their own story, although All for One is only working for himself, and you dummies haven't figured it out yet.
遊泳は死柄木弔が行動可能になるまでもう1週間もないことを
Who's this
掴んで
person? And how do they know this?
旅その砦にいられなくなるように。
ヴィラン連合の捜索に加わった僕たちは、捜索そのものは成果を上げることができなかった。
Yep, so he's gonna try to draw you out. Let's see if y'all are smart enough to figure out that that's what he's doing.
速やかに就寝しよう。俺たちの強みは若さだ。
Right? The recovery time you guys have is a lot shorter.
みんな、歯磨きは忘れずにな。
Very important. Nobody wants to fight with funky breath.
まだちゃんとお礼を言えてない。
She knows.
うらら。
ジャス、元気。
Too energetic, bro.
第二次決戦の最終プラン。その協議を行う。
Let's be quick about. Has anyone figured out the fact that they're gonna try to draw out my boy? Or no? Okay.
戸村はあと4日で活動を再開することが確実となりました。4日後に遊泳全域に戒厳令を敷き、
Martial law.
防衛体制を最大限に強化すること
Damn,
を
some people are not gonna like that.
避難システム発動時の行動の制
Aw,
限
the
と
mamas.
しまうことになりました。
So you weren't anticipating that they were gonna tell everybody, huh? Little spy. Get out. Get out. But I guess they should have anticipated that some of the evacuees could be working for All for One.
あなた方の安全が我々の命題です。ただ一つ。
But I guess they must. I mean, if they've learned anything from Ioma's stories, that there's spies everywhere.
だが図らずとも指令は達成された。これで俺たちの未来は保証される。
Sure it is. I'm surprised that none of the other kids in Todoroki's family do any fighting. Maybe it's just because they're so mad at their dad. But beat his ass. But yeah, it's interesting to me that you think, like, the least we know they have ice powers for sure. They can be useful. I'm still wondering, like, isn't Eren supposed to be something huge? I feel like we haven't tapped into her enough.
超短期施工が可能。遊泳には到底及ばんが堅牢だ。
That's not good enough.
水の住処にならねえといいけど。
やめい。
I mean, at this point, I just feel like we're not moving smart. Could she not find smaller boots? I've always wondered. They don't seem effective. I know that gravities are big, but still.
街見てた。私さ、変なんだ
Yeah,
よ、
but we all are.
強いし勇敢だし髪型も似合ってるしとても優し
Oh,
いし
not a
素
hair
敵だし。
compliment. Oh my god.
だと思うことを言葉にして返したんだ。とても悲しそうな顔してた。もう許す許さないの次元じゃない。わかってる。
But
あの人の当たり前を知らない。戸賀卑弥呼のこと、何も知らないって考えてしまう。
it's true. We don't know what causes people to do what they do. But she's made her choices. That's what it comes down to.
なんだ。僕も死柄木の中に小さな少年が泣い
That
て
little
いる
boy's
のに
long gone.
その奥にあるものを無視はしたくない。
I mean, I get it.
じゃあ、
Really,
二人とも
you're
変だ
not
ね。
weird. It's really just about this is what separates you from the villains because they do deserve everything that they've done to everybody else, but remembering what they're seeing inside is going to keep them from potentially doing what a villain would do.
トヤ兄の好きなもんも知らね
Toya likes burning things, including himself.
え。一緒に食ってやるさ。
Oh, it's the way you think you can rescue him.
必ず止めよう。
I hope so.
少しでも僕に対する害意を持っていればわかる。しかし、今度はその個性が僕に勝利をもたらす。お酒が飲みたいな。
Ball sacks can't drink liquor.
こんなご時世ですからね、おじさま。
ああ、そうだね。傍受対策の間抜けなやりとりも今回で最後。ああ、また明日。
Who gave him a phone? That's what I want to know. Who gave this man a phone?
両親の弁護士が釈放してくれた。みんなに伝えるよ。これから 君と話をしたい。
Wow, this is the most sober that I've seen Ayama look as far as like his sketching. This is interesting.
日本がこうなったことで今、世界がどうなってるか知ってるかい？その煽りとヴィランの一斉活性化で各国にダメージが波及している。頂上発言と似た流れが差し迫っているんだって。
He wanted chaos.
大混乱時代さ。何の話をしているんだ、青山くん。
He's telling you what's going on.
日本は見捨てられる。
Phew, Canada's not in there. Thank God.
貧困を崩せればきっと何でもよかったんだよ。
そんなの変だよ。
Are you sure about that? Where's all the aid that you guys have coming? Oh, right.
まだ僕たちがいるよ。
やっぱり僕はパパンとママンの安全を守りたい。
オールフォーワン。
恐ろしかったろう、友を裏切るのは。
I mean, he did say he didn't trust himself, so.
あなたの世界、僕らに幸福を約束してくれて
And he's going to kill you, you dummies.
心苦しいなんてものじゃなかったよ、おじさま。
Was it worth a try?
相手を引きつけなきゃいけないんだもの。それに君だって命
Got
令
his,
だよ。
got his legs knocking.
僕怖すぎて涙どころかおしっこも出てる。
Oh, it's okay, boo.
僕はオールフォーワンと戦う。
Okay, boo. You did so good, you fooled me.
直前の連絡にも両親の連絡にも害や嘘はなかった。
Because there wasn't at the time.
いや、どうでもいい。
Wow, okay, Alpha One's been working out.
この距離にワン・フォー・オールがある
Try to get
事
it.
実。
Because that didn't work out for you last time.
だからこそ気づかれず、ここまでこの数が接近できた。
Excellent.
オールフォーワン。
黒霧。
He's still around.
だからオールフォーワンが最も嫌がることは。
Oh, my girl, Mirko. Is she healed up enough to fight? I guess there's not much. Doesn't matter, does it?
だから今日ここでお前を倒す。
Okay, comic book cover. Avengers said, "What? You can't end it there." Oh, come on! It just started to get sweet. Oh, preview. Am I ready? Okay.
ヒーローとヴィランの
Has
最
it?
終決戦必ず成功させてみせる。
I don't know if I like it.
次回ディビジョンさらに向こうへ。
Oh God, I'm nervous, guys. I'm clenched, and I got a whole week. We have to wait to see what goes down. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, this episode started off slow, but it picked up literally in the last 5 minutes. That's insane. But what I really liked with this one is, again, the conversation around the whole idea of the mentality of a villain. I mean, this show's called My Hero Academia, but truthfully, the expression I'm sure a lot of you have heard before is that every villain is the hero of his own story. And like I said, for All for One, I don't think that's really the case. I think he just is obsessed with power at all costs. He's not caring about the world. He doesn't care about who's going to be negatively affected. He just wants more, like he's just greedy for power. He's got something in him that's so broken that he thinks that getting all the power in the world is going to fill it, and he's going to be very disappointed even if he does succeed. But digressing, we saw the vampire girl, Himura, I think her name is, and Toya kind of both pictured here, but Himura, we see her going back to her childhood home, and clearly life was not great for her. Her quirk, which I'm assuming is one she inherited from her father, you know, she's essentially a vampire. She needs blood to survive, and it's something that we already know from previous seasons what she's able to do with it. But the point is, growing up, she didn't know how to necessarily control her quirk, and also she didn't understand why her quirk was bad, because certain things in her quirk made her happy. And of course, we heard like the voices. I think they did a good job with all the memories kind of coming through for her as she's walking through, reading all the walls of all the hateful things that people have put on her home. You know, we get the idea of how much hate her and her family experienced, the amount of prejudice that they experienced, and then hearing her father's, like, her mom was basically like, there's something wrong with her, we need to get rid of her, whereas her dad, who I'm assuming the quirk probably came from, kept saying like, you have to learn to control it, you need to hold back, you need to stop doing this because I'm trying to protect you, I'm trying to get you to be able to fit in. And we see that she never got to that place clearly, and it's just, you understand it. Like, I think it's a good idea. There's so many characters in this show, so it's kind of hard to keep track, but I do think it's a good idea to always understand why someone's become a villain. And so through all of this, we're able to see why she is the way she is, like being ostracized and hated, and people, you know, having all this prejudice against something that you have no control over as far as how her quirk works is very difficult to overcome. Then you couple that with the fact that it sounds like her own mother started to treat her like her own mom started to call her a monster and a demon. You know, that's got to break something deep inside of you as well. And then her father, who I guess instead of trying to understand why she was acting this way or see if there was some other way he could channel it in a way that would work for her, he just basically was telling her to just stop being basically stop being who she is. So none of these things worked for her, and clearly something very deep inside of her broke emotionally, mentally, and that lost, hurt person, of course, that's right for someone who comes along who says, hey, we don't care that your quirk is weird. We don't care that you want to hurt people with it. You be you. We accept you as you are. Of course, that's going to sound like music to her ears. And we know that, what's his name? Twice. That was one of the things that he just loved her unconditionally. And that's one thing that she really, really leaned into as far as their friendship. So anyway, that was kind of a nice little, it was short, but it gave us enough backstory as viewers to know why she is the way she is. But I guess they're also, as these shows love to do, kind of giving a teeny tiny thread of could she be pulled back? Could she possibly be willing to maybe not necessarily become a good guy, but at the very least realize that what All for One is doing is not it. This is not the way to go. There's something in there. And that's why we saw Uraraka having a moment of kind of thinking about her, because we know that through last season and the season before, Uraraka and Hiroma, is it? I'm sorry if I forgot her name. They've been beefing, is my point, for the last 2 seasons. And we see that, Uraraka said, I thought I knew her. I kind of judged her. I put her into a box because of what she's done. But when I spoke about things that I thought everyone knew, common sense, she literally looked like, A, she wasn't sure what I was talking about, and B, it made her sad. So she's like, now I'm starting to wonder, she said, what is common sense to her? And these things are important, right? Because this is why our justice system exists. This is why, as we've evolved as humans and gotten more and more understanding about things like mental health and emotional health and how things can lead to certain things, right? And it's important that if you are going to be someone who helps people, you need to understand where people are coming from, and also remember that they're still people despite what they've done. And that part is hard, because when you've been wronged by someone or hurt by someone, our natural response is revenge and aggression, and a lot of times doing exactly what they did to us, but that doesn't really solve the problem. And again, sometimes these people can truly be rehabilitated if people take the time to look past the actions and the walls and what they're putting out there, and actually see, like we saw Midoriya see with Shigaraki, the wounded person, often the wounded, hurt person that's beneath it all. And we got to see a little bit of I'm sorry, I forgot. It's something with an H. Blood Girls. We saw a little bit of that in this episode. And then, of course, we already know Toya, so we don't need to know more about that. But him saying that, you got to let go of the past, and him trying to kind of lecture her, I feel like even though he was saying it to her, he was saying it for himself, right? Because Toya, we know, has been broken for a long time, unfortunately. We saw in the episode from last season about the history. Toya is, unfortunately, since he was very young, snapped. And as I said, he's probably the one villain thus far that I'm not that mad at him wanting to do what he's doing, because yeah, his dad really messed him up bad. We can't forget that Endeavor was actually the worst father ever. He actually was a terrible father, a terrible husband, and the abuse that Toya went through, Todoroki went through a lot, but Toya went through more, and it was just a lot. So I don't really feel sorry for Endeavor per se, but like I said, the issue is that Toya is willing to let the whole world burn to get this one person, upset, and that's where, it breaks for me. But again, Toya is not okay. He's not evil, truly, but he needs help. We need to be locked away for a while, and intensive deep therapy needs to be had type of help. So anyway, we got that, and a really nice moment between Uraraka and Midoriya, where he thanked her for standing up for him and getting people to allow him to stay at UA so he could recover. It's so funny because it shows you how much Uraraka has grown too, because Midoriya actually threw her a compliment. I don't think he's ever physically complimented her before. And old Uraraka would have been like, she would have gotten all, weird. And she was just kind of no, bro, it's not what, thanks, but that's not what I was talking about. And then she got into the deeper stuff. So I like that. To me, it's showing that she's maturing a little bit. And I mean, obviously, I think she still has her feelings for Midoriya, but she's starting to grow up and mature a little bit where that's concerned. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the next little while we see a shift there where Midoriya, because remember, Midoriya wasn't really seeing her like that before. But I feel like now that she's kind of maturing a bit in that space, I think we're going to see Midoriya actually start to maybe get a little bit giddy with her. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. That's down the road. But anyhow, so yep, we had that. That was good part of the first part of the episode. And then the second half, we had, like I said, well, it's not even the second half, the last 5 minutes, we see Ioma again. And like I said, he had me in the first half. He really did. He had me in the first half, coming back, saying he wanted to meet up with Midoriya. And it very much looked like maybe he'd fallen back into the fearsome place that he likes to be. It was believable. I wasn't even gonna be mad at him, to be honest. I wasn't mad. I was like, he did say he wasn't sure how he would feel if he was put in the situation of literally being face to face with All For One again. I can't be mad at him. Like, it's a lot. But it turns out he was playing him. My boy, give him an Oscar. Give him an Oscar and give Midoriya an Oscar. Midoriya even got the tears and everything. Like, he was like, they were playing this. They got it so good that All For One's power didn't even realize he was being fooled. That was hilarious. But anyway, it was all an elaborate trap because the squad figured out that there's no way we're going to be able to find this guy. Like, we've been searching, there's not enough of us. Plus, there's still the villains doing the escapees and the villains doing whatever they want to do. Like, there's just not enough for us to cover all the space we need to look for them and also take care of people and rest and recuperate and train. So yeah, it was too much, too few people. So they came up with a better plan, which we didn't hear, but then we just saw, which is we need to pull him out. We need to draw him out by using Midoriya as bait, essentially. So yeah, it's like, we know that, and that was smart. They're like, the one advantage that we have is that we know All For One wants Midoriya. That is his ultimate goal. So he's the best bait. Like, if there's anything that will draw All For One out, it's if he thinks there is a surefire way to get to Midoriya and of course get one for all, and take it before anyone can stop him. So they did that, and it looks like right now it was just All For One and then the people he brought. We don't see Shigaraki yet, but we know that from last week that they need to keep Shigaraki and All For One apart because this was 3 days. I think we're 2 days then? I didn't do the math, but they showed it was 3 days from when Shigaraki was coming out of that literal hole in the ground to when this confrontation happened. So I believe that they're probably within a day or two of when the full merge of All For One and Shigaraki is supposed to happen. So this battle very much is going to be a huge pivotal one for them. I don't know which way it's going to go, but we see that everybody has showed up that's still there. Endeavor is there. Mirko is there. A handful of the heroes that have still, Best Jeanist, like the strongest that they've got that are still alive and able are there. I wouldn't be surprised if we even see Eraserhead show up with his one eye. Like, we're going to need everything. Yeah, we're kicking it off. We're only 4 5 episodes into the season and we're kicking it off. I don't know how many episodes we have, but I don't know, guys. I don't know which way it's going to go. I'm not feeling that confident. I'm going to be real with you. I mean, thankfully All For One has been weakened thanks to what Star and Strike did, but he is still a bag of horrors with what he's got left. And the big thing really is going to come down to, we know that All For One's not going to waste his time with anybody else. He's going to be going after Midoriya and Midoriya alone. So I'm really hoping my boy can stand up and do what he needs to do. I'm not scared of his willpower. We know that Midoriya's got an iron will. I'm just scared of what his body is able to take and what All For One's got planned, because Midoriya's biggest weakness is his love of his friends and his family. So if All For One figures that out, yeah, things could get ugly. So anyway, great episode once again. But like I said, really the last 5 minutes is where things picked up and really got my interest peaked. But I'm really ready for next week when we get into this battle and see how things are going to go down. Anyhow, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I will see you in the next one.